I dropped my night vision camera to the bottom of the Bali Sea in search of a species new to science. The other day I caught a massive shark off in the shadows, but it never came close enough to see what it was.
If it is what I think it is, it's only going to come in for real big baits. So, we got some real big baits. Surely it's going to go for that thing.
But a meal this size is sure to draw in many other strange creatures. Sharks aren't the only big predators lurking at these depths. This large grouper was interested in the bait right away. When it opens its mouth, it creates a vacuum that pulls in the bait, a method called suction feeding that groupers also use to swallow small prey whole. This is some species of conger eel. Now, congers are aggressive predators with a keen sense of smell and the ability to sense chemicals and vibrations in the water. All the commotion quickly drew in this pair of smaller eels, possibly juvenile congers or a species of snake or worm eel. But to be honest, there's so little known about what's down here that I'm not totally sure what these are. If you recognise them, let me know in the comments. Oh, and by the way, I'm dropping these cameras all over the Indo-Pacific in search of understudied creatures and species new to science, so subscribe if you want to see what we find next. In the deep ocean, small opportunistic predators can't pass up this much food when it's directly in front of them, and this school of jobfish and monocle breams quickly worked up the courage to take advantage of it. The bait was also swarmed by shrimp of many different sizes, picking off small bits of flesh. But these critical decomposers are also food for many marine species, and it was only a matter of time before all of this action brought in one of the deep sea's oddest residents. This is a chambered nautilus, a distant relative of octopuses and squid, but they've traded the soft, flexible body of other cephalopods for a large shell filled with air chambers that they use to regulate their buoyancy. Nautiluses will feed on small live prey or scavenge off of carcasses, and they use their sensory tentacles and good sense of smell to detect food on the sea floor. However, the next creature to show up was much rarer, but not the one that we expected. This appears to be a cookiecutter shark, a small, rarely seen but infamous shark species found in deep oceans worldwide. I'm not totally sure about the ID here though, but the long torpedo-shaped body, very rounded mouth, and distinct lack of dorsal fins all point to this being a cookiecutter. What's interesting is, the way it emerged out of the darkness, seemingly to chase down the much larger cage, is another point towards a positive ID, because these sharks punch way above their weight class when it comes to food. Cookiecutter sharks get their name for the clean circular bite marks that they leave in a wide variety of bigger marine species, and even humans on very rare occasions. However, this one quickly turned tail once it realised there wasn't a large animal here for it to feed on, which raises an interesting question about whether even bigger baits could potentially lure in one of these sharks to feed on camera. That behaviour is extremely difficult to capture in the wild, so if you want to be part of the mission to bring these super understudied sharks to light, and maybe even find out what the giant we saw before is, subscribe for more.